Welcome back to Bruins Game Reactions. Boston Bruins lose 8-2 to the Carolina Hurricanes in a game in which the Canes got half the amount of goals as Bruins had shots. The Bruins also had less goals than we had trick-or-treaters at our house tonight. So, nice little happy Halloween to the fans there, as I'm sure a lot of people probably got more trick-or-treaters than Boston had goals. The team looked flat again, and it's something that needs to change. These were the lineup combinations for tonight. I don't understand them. They make, quite frankly, no sense. Why you break up your best line, causing them to arguably have their worst combined night of the season, I don't know. Why you pull Swayman when you do, I get that, but I don't at the same time. Because you're paying this guy $8.25 million for the next 8 years. And do you want to see what he was doing? That's what he was doing for half of tonight. He was sitting on the bench, drinking his little Gatorade, cheering on the team as best he can. Because you know what? You can't do anything when your defense is sitting there not willing to block shots, not willing to lay hits out in front of your net. I'm specifically talking about Hampus Lindholm there. I think it was on goal 4 or 5. Just lets the shooter take the shot, tenses up like that, like he's just afraid to get hit by the puck. Like you're an NHL player making $5+ million a year. The least you can do is either get down and block a shot or go and run the guy in front of your own net. Don't let him get a clear shot on your goalie, who you know quite clearly is struggling, because you look up at the massive jumbotron up on the screen, or up at center ice, and you can quite easily tell, okay, well, we're not having a great game now, are we? But no, you tense up like you're in house league, is too scared to block a shot, and that leads directly to a goal. As for the penalty kill power play again, you allow 3-on-5, which, by the way, you had 2 5-on-3s and did nothing with them. You got 1 goal out of 2 5-on-3s. You do nothing with that. And again, you allow 3 goals on 5 power play opportunities. That is not good enough. If you want to have any chance at doing anything in these playoffs, I get it still early. They're 11 games in. But 2 things need to change. You need to get down, block shots, lay hit. Few things need to change, not 2. Get down, block shots, make hits, finish your hits. Where am I going with this? Stop taking dumb penalties. Mason Lohrei took 1, if not 2, tonight. Mark Kastelik took his first penalty as a Bruin. First penalty, not fighting major, penalty as a Bruin. Could be wrong on that. First or second. He hasn't had a ton this year, which has been very good. Arguably had his worst night as a Boston Bruin tonight, which I think most Senators fans would die for when he was on their team last year. I don't know. This team's making it really hard this year. Like, I've mentioned before multiple times in these videos, you're young, but young doesn't equate to good all the time. And you almost have to start wondering if you've gone too young with this team. Because you go from one of the oldest teams in the league in 2022, to now you have children. You have David Pastrnak playing on a kids line, which wasn't a kids line, but during the Kings overtime game, it was a kids line that scored. Now, obviously, this game's a bit different. You had Matthew Poitras as your fourth-line center. Why is beyond me. He's looked good. He has had chances. He hasn't buried one yet. But you can't bury this guy on your third and fourth line when you expect him to be a second, first-line player. You need to give him those top 6 minutes. And when you do, he will perform. You want him to be at least at the level of that Matthew Knies is at right now in Toronto. Because he's having a wicked year so far. Hasn't scored a ton, but he has looked dang fine this year. He's your young guy. Max Jones gets into the lineup again, which is still beyond me. And that leads to another factor I have later on. Brad Marchand gets demoted to the second line. I don't hate that. He hasn't been great. He had the one goal against the Leafs, but that was it. I don't know. You made Kochekov's night easy for a backup goalie who has not played well this year. He's been the starter this year. He hasn't been the backup. He hasn't played well this year, though. But do you want to see what they were making him do tonight? This. Right here. This is what they had him doing all night tonight. Couple shots every couple minutes. Rest of the night, nah, I'm just going to sit there, talk to the crowd. You couldn't get shots through. You barely had any shot attempts to keep up with your pace, which is second last in the league. Might be last after tonight. I think the only team that's last is the Capitals, and that's because they've played 8 games. You've now played 11, and you are barely ahead of them. Whereas the Hurricanes, they had 54 shot attempts after the second period. The league leader right now, I believe, is the LA Kings, and they're averaging 46 a night. So you let someone get 56 on you when the league lead is an average of 46, and they still had an extra 20 minutes to play. I didn't see the numbers after that. I can tell you they were not good, though, because the Canes still got 2 more goals. So you can at least add those 2 to shot attempts, because that's going to count for something. Plus, they spent 90% of the third period in the Bruins zone. And again, the power play penalty kill was dead. You get the one power play goal, and then you just play, which was on a 5-on-4, just after a 5-on-3. I mentioned that earlier. But it's a game of pass out there. This team looks like they have no chemistry whatsoever. And it's getting to a point where it's concerning. I don't know what there is to do. I don't want Jim Montgomery to get fired. I don't wish that on anyone. It might be time for him to go. I think that's a well and truly valid conversation that we need to have. You need to have someone that can come in here, wake the team up, and get them up over the edge. Because right now, this team, you've had the nickname for the past decade and a half of the Big Brad. You've had that nickname since I was born as the Big Bad Bruins. You were big, you were tough, you would go where the other team wouldn't necessarily lead to success all the time, but you were dang good in the playoffs. And now, you are quite literally the definition of Big Bad Bruins. You're big, you're very bad, and you play with this logo on your chest. This one right here. And it seems like this team doesn't want to play for it anymore. And I would have no problems with this team going right now and saying, Kate, we're not good this year. Charlie McAvoy, well, it was nice having you. Guess you got to go out the door. Matthew Poitras, no, well, you were good for now. Well, guess what? Go out there, win a cup with the Rangers or something, because they're playing pretty good now. And try and get draft picks and go again. And hopefully Don Sweeney doesn't mess it up like he messed up 2015. Because that is still arguably the worst draft in NHL history. I saw a stat today. The Leafs had 16 draft picks in the 2017-2018 drafts combined. And with that, Pontus Holmberg is the only player left of those draft picks. And that just says to me that they haven't drafted well, but they're in the same position you are, if not better right now. And I don't know what upper management's doing. I don't know if they're trying to find a trade or what, but they need something. I stand by Max Jones as the worst player on this roster, even though there were some players who played much worse tonight. I don't know. There isn't much to fix with this team that is so clearly broken. I guess it's game 11. Swayman didn't look great. I'm not going to blame most of those goals on him, though. Could add maybe one or two. Doesn't stop the fact that 4 others went in. That Hampus Lindholm one is one that I've highlighted already. Defense looked weak. Brandon Carlo was invisible tonight. Most of the top 6 was invisible tonight. Pasternak had one breakaway. And, well, not even breakaway. He had a chance down the half wall. Didn't do anything with that. He took a shot. He took 1 of 16 shots, if not more. The Canes' defense is good. It's not that good. Like, you should easily be able to at least figure it out somewhat, instead of having to ice the puck all the time. I couldn't find the numbers for this game, but I'm willing to bet puck possession was up near 45 minutes to 15, which is, I'm willing to bet, some good money. Bottom half of the league, if not bottom 3. San Jose Sharks have more wins than you this week, in the past 7 days, than you do. Than you almost do this whole season. Which, I don't know if you've noticed, they're trying to be bad. You're not. You're meant to be a good playoff contending team. And right now, you're making an absolute embarrassment of yourself. I get trying to shake up the lines to get different players going. That's not how you do it. I was calling for the 4th line to become the 2nd line. I meant the whole line, not just Mark Kastelik. I don't know. I'm not the coach. There isn't anything I can do. I'm just some guy hanging in my mom's basement filming these videos. Yeah, there isn't much else to do here. I would love to see this team get 30 shots in one game. Because I think they've maybe hit that once, if that, this season. It was probably against the Avalanche, who, by the way, they're missing 6 of their top 9 forwards. So, looking back on that game, you probably should have won that game a bit better than what you did. I get you can only face the team in front of you, but this isn't good enough. Like, I don't know what it is. I want to see Fabian Lysell up in the NHL. He's played good in the AHL. You got to give him at least a chance. See what you have with him. Give him 9 games. Don't burn that first year of his ELC. If he's even on an NHL contract. I think he is. But, I don't know. I mean, this year is set to be a rough one. hopefully they can make the playoffs. I don't want Jim Montgomery as this head coach anymore, as the head coach of this team. I don't believe he's a good fit. And do I have a reason for that? Yeah. This right here. Not the Bobby Orr jersey, but the picture right here. Yeah. Just bad lineup changes. I mean, obviously, Zadorov hasn't played great. I think he took another penalty in this game, or came very close to it at least. Pasternak hasn't looked crisp. He's looked alright. He hasn't looked crisp. Elias Lindholm, again, bit of a ghost tonight, which, you know, kind of fitting for Halloween. Then yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, I think. Thank you all so much for watching. Click like if you like. Click subscribe if you really like. Next game is gonna be back-to-back with travel against the Flyers and then the Kraken. Then you face the Leafs on Tuesday. Thank you.